Hello, everyone. Hope you're having a good week. It's been a while since I've done one of these stock market updates, so I thought today I'd just give a bit of a summary of what's happened year to date. We just passed the half-year mark, halfway through the year already. Time flies. Just wanted to give an update on the share prices on the South African Stock Exchange. I'm only looking at some of the bigger companies at the moment, the top 48 or so companies listed on the JSE. So if we look at the year-to-date performance, the clear winners have been the gold mining companies, Gold Fields and Harmony, AngloGold Ashanti also putting in performances of 20% and above. Gold Fields up almost 49%, and that's largely on the back of a stronger gold price. If we look here, we can see the gold price ticking up quite nicely since the beginning of the year. And then on the other side of the coin, looking at the ones that have not performed well at all this year, mostly the platinum mining shares, Impala Platinum, Anglo Platinum, Sibanye does have exposure to platinum as well as other metals, and Northam Platinum all minus 30% or more. And again, that's on the back of a weaker platinum price. It's been a real wild ride for the platinum price this year. Started off quite strongly and then took a real dive. Towards the end of last year, it was strong. Took a real dive at the beginning of the year, a real collapse, and then picked up again from March. A nice strong pickup from March till round about May, earlier beginning of May, and then from the beginning of May collapsed again, a dramatic fall in the platinum price. I guess there is some debate over whether a new world with electric vehicles is going to be needing as much platinum. Platinum is used in catalytic converters in internal combustion engines and cars, but with the move towards electric vehicles, the demand for platinum may not be as strong as it was previously. Platinum is used for other things, not only catalytic converters, but a real interesting space to watch. If you believe in value investing, is it time to start buying platinum companies or not? Do you feel that, it's sort of a sunset industry? Interesting question. We've been here before with a platinum price where it has collapsed. The gold shares, is it going to continue? I do think in the sort of, if you're taking a 5-year view or more, probably will see some more outperformance because you're likely to see interest rates start falling in the US towards the end of next year, and that should be positive, should be negative for the dollar and positive for the gold price. So for a sort of a longer term investor, there could potentially be a bit of worth buying the gold shares. I see that down 13% this month. Gold Fields, AngloGold down 15%. So something worth looking at. And then the other ones that have performed well this year, Capital and Counties, they've got property in the UK, that's up 27%. Bidcorp, the global food services company, up almost 25%. Sanlam, the insurance company, up almost 23%. Bidvest, the diversified industrial group, up 22%. I think that's quite an interesting one because it's still very much a South African focused company with a lot of its revenue coming from South Africa, and it's done quite nicely. Even with the economy in South Africa not doing so well and the load shedding and all of that, quite interesting. I do think they do have some businesses that are actually benefiting from the load shedding, but I thought that was a bit of a surprise how well Bidvest has done. Discovery up 19%. Old Mutual, the insurance company, is doing quite nicely this year. Naspers and Prosus, the big ones there. The management are still trying to uncomplicate the cross-holding structure there. That's been quite beneficial to Naspers and Prosus this year. Still, though, dependent on to some degree on what happens with the Tencent share price, Tencent, the IT company in China, because that still is a significant part of their earnings. The rest of their business is minuscule compared to Tencent, but they are trying to slowly sell down their holding in Tencent. The bank's FirstRand, not above 10%, not doing too badly. OUTsurance up 10%, Woolworths up 10%. Yeah, and then on the downside, the ones that haven't been doing well, Exxaro, the coal company, minus 24%. Platinum again down 23%. Anglo American down 18%. They do have Anglo American Platinum as one of their subsidiaries, so that could be why that one is down so much. Pepkor down 16%. That one looks quite interesting to me at the moment. Retailers in general not having a great year. I'll cover more on that just now. Capitec, yeah, up 100% over the past 3 years, but having a little bit of a pullback in the first 6 months of this year. And the likes of Mr. Price not doing so well, down 10%. Kumba Iron Ore down 10%. Sasol down 12%. Absa down more than 12%. So yeah, it's been quite an interesting half year so far. Just some stocks I'd like to just pay attention to. The likes of Pick and Pay have had a real collapse. Well, the share price has moved down quite sharply so far this year on the back of load shedding and the amount of money, enormous amount of money that they've had to spend on diesel, impacting their share price. It has started recovering since load shedding has not been as bad the last few weeks, which is quite interesting. The same goes for SPAR. Similar picture, also share price taking a tumble on the back of the load shedding, and when it was at its worst in May and June, and now started picking up again with the load shedding starting to subside a little bit. So for the long-term investor, those could potentially be interesting ones to get involved with. Then having a look at the dollar rand. The rand has weakened substantially on the back of, well, where do we start? The South African government seeming to cozy up to the Russians. The market does not like that, so the rand has weakened on the back of that. In addition, we've had the dollar strengthening this year, interest rates rising again in the States, and they're talking about potentially doing another 2 further interest rate hikes in the States. So that's keeping the dollar strong, the rand weak, and I think the load shedding, etc., has also contributed to the weakness in the rand. And then just lastly, having a look at the S&P 500, the offshore markets, the US market, the largest 500 companies in the States having a surprisingly good year this year. I would have expected it not to do so well because interest rates are high in the States, and you would expect that to lead to some sort of a recession. The market has been talking about a recession in the States for quite a while now. In an inverted yield curve in the bond market certainly signifies historically that a recession in the States is coming, but it just hasn't come yet. So the market has been ticking up in the States. In addition to that, we've seen a massive hype around AI, and any companies involved with AI have done very well, and particularly the big tech players, Google and NVIDIA, Microsoft, all involved with the new AI revolution, and their stock prices have done very nicely this year. So where to from here? It'll be interesting to see if the interest rates do increase some more in the States or not. If the rand starts strengthening again, I think at some point in time one would hope that it does. It does seem to be very, very oversold, and the platinum shares also very oversold. So if you do have any questions or you'd like to chat about your portfolio, you're welcome to give me a call or send me an email to Warren S for sugar at afrifocus.co.za. That's Warren S at afrifocus.co.za. Hope you have a good week and we'll see you again soon. Bye now.